Days Sales Outstanding, DSO. This is part of the cash-to-cash cycle time formula, but also a very important business and supply chain metric on its own. Days Sales Outstanding is about getting paid quickly for the goods or services you have sold. It's a measure of how much money you are still waiting to be paid relative to the quantity of sales you make, expressed in days. You might think, doesn't everyone get paid immediately when they sell something? Well, no, very often not. Certainly in business-to-business transactions, it's very common for there to be credit terms, buy now, pay later. Maybe with a regular customer who you make regular deliveries to, you agree that they can pay you at the end of the month, or maybe you agree 60-day terms, so to be paid 60 days after you deliver the stuff you sold them. This really is normal, often as a sales incentive. Maybe instead of giving a price discount, you offer better credit terms to your customers. Also, you might agree when payment is due, but sometimes your customers pay later than they should. Maybe they have their own cash flow problems, debt problems, or there's a dispute, so it's not at all simple about when you get the cash for stuff you've sold. The formula is DSO equals accounts receivable divided by sales in a time period, multiplied by the number of days in that time period. So, for example, if the bed-selling shop has $50,000 of accounts receivable, that's the value of the beds already sold but not paid for yet, and in the past month, the past 30 days, they have sold $60,000 worth of beds, then to calculate the DSO we do $50,000 accounts receivable divided by the sales revenue that month times by 30 days. We've chosen to use the time period of a month, 30 days, in this example, but you could choose the past week or the past 90 days. So the $50,000 of accounts receivable we have outstanding is the same as 25 average days sales revenue. A different way of thinking about that formula is to calculate the average daily sales revenue over the past month. So $60,000 divided by 30 days gives a typical $2,000 a day of sales. And then we could take our $50,000 of accounts receivable and divide it by our $2,000 a day of sales to give us the same 25 days. Same maths really, but just phrased differently to possibly be a bit more intuitive. So in our example, we have a DSO of 25 days. This is quite a normal figure for a business's DSO. It means that the amount of money they are waiting to be paid, their accounts receivable, is 25 days worth of sales. Anything under 45 days is considered good for businesses selling to other businesses with credit terms, buy now, pay later. A bigger DSO is worse when it comes to cash flow, as it means you are typically waiting longer to actually get the money for things you have already sold, through either poor debt collection or overly generous payment terms, or both. Small technical detail alert. The days sales outstanding formula is more often written as accounts receivable divided by credit sales, multiplied by the number of days to get those sales. This is fundamentally the same formula as the one I explained earlier, but it ignores cash sales in the sales figure, leaving only credit sales, because cash sales, by definition, get paid immediately and give 0 days sales outstanding. But if we are using this metric to evaluate the cash flow of our whole business or supply chain, and not just the effectiveness of our debt collection and payment punctuality of our customers, then we want to include all sales, as I did in the first method I presented. If you don't want to worry about it, don't worry about it. Small details. For better cash flow, we want a lower days sales outstanding. So we are getting paid for what we've sold faster. How would you reduce your DSO then? Offer shorter payment credit terms to your customers. Get down payments and deposits so you get some of the money up front. improve your debt collection and dispute management processes for when there are disagreements, offer discounts for faster payments, improve your accounts processes, so working on being efficient in following up and collecting payment for invoices. So that's days sales outstanding, looking at how much money you are waiting to be paid for goods and services already sold, relative to your rate of sales. From a cash flow point of view, we want to keep it nice and small so we are getting paid quickly, and it's one of the 3 parts of the cash-to-cash cycle time formula.